Hola a todos, bienvenidos al Hotel La Lancha, ubicado a orillas del lago Petén Itzá en Flores Petén, Guatemala. Mi nombre es Noé de la Rosa, gerente general de La Lancha. Hi everyone, welcome to La Lancha Resort in Flores Petén, Guatemala, based in the northern region of Guatemala, Petén. My name is Noé de la Rosa, I'm the general manager. I'm going to show you one of the best spots we have near our resort. Please follow me.
Well, hello, Noe.
Hola, hola, what a surprise, Christine. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, muy bien.
Great. So,
Please
what
sit
a
and
surprise
join
to see you
me.
here. Oh, thanks.
Always good to be back here on the lakefront with you. Why don't we have a glass of wine and
Sure, why not?
talk to folks about this beautiful lodge? This, of course, is another one of our Diamond Collection wines, the Sauvignon Blanc. Wonderful for a warm day on a lake. Anywhere, but especially fabulous on Lake Petén Itzá with you.
Why not? Yes,
Cheers.
amazing. Cheers.
Very good, very light, crisp.
Crispy, right.
Let's talk about how the adventure begins here at La Lancha for guests, because often I think people feel like, oh, really don't experience a hotel until well after you arrive and settle in, but it's rather adventurous just getting to La Lancha. Describe the arrival experience for us.
Well, getting here is, as you said, we start the adventure. The best adventure would be taking a boat for a 30-minute ride on this very smooth, amazing lake we have, which is the second largest lake in Petén, Guatemala.
A lot of folks don't know that about this region. The largest lake is Lake Izabal, but Petén Itzá is the second largest lake in the country. And it's only about a 25-minute boat ride on our boat. Then what happens after our guests get off here at the lake dock?
Upon arrival, as a surprise, we have our reception folks greeting you and waiting for you with a very perfect mix of our perfect cocktail signature drink, Jugo de Jamaica. So then what you do is, getting up there is about 230 steps, but we have a great funicular which brings you down from the lake up to our reception and dwellings. It's just a 5-minute ride on this jungle elevator we have near the lake.
That's recent addition. It was Francis's idea, of course, to add the funicular, or the jungle elevator, as I've heard kids refer to it.
Yeah.
Another part of the adventure, and I definitely prefer it over walking 200 steps to the top. Although, the more steps I walk, the more guacamole I can allow myself. I'm going to talk a little bit about something I particularly love on this beautiful lake setting. You know, there are a lot of beautiful lakes in the world, but a lot of them have a lot of lake activity and noise and sports, and this is a very peaceful lake. But there are still things you can do right here from the lake for our guests. So my favorite memory in the half dozen times or so I've stayed here at La Lancha is once I was just out there in one of our tubes floating, truly literally having a glass of Sauvignon Blanc, maybe it was a Chardonnay that day, and looking up at these trees and seeing howler monkeys.
Howler monkeys.
Yeah, so we get howler monkeys and we get spider monkeys in these trees.
That's right. We do have both families, both species around either there are sometimes by the lakeside and sometimes they come as way up by the restaurant area.
Yes, that's when you know we're not in Kansas anymore. This isn't a lake just anywhere.
Yeah.
We're here at Petén Itzá looking at the natural wildlife of Guatemala. That's a little bit about the lake, our canoes and kayaks and paddleboarding and all the things that you can do while you're here. Let's take our virtual vacationers through more of the experiences here right on property at La Lancha. The gorgeous guest rooms. We only have 10. This is one of the most intimate of all the hideaways the Coppola's own. Which are the two most requested guest accommodations, or dwellings as Francis likes to refer to them?
Yeah, well, the two most requested dwellings would be the newly addition we have, the Rainforest Junior Suites, which are adequate for couples, honeymoons, I would say. Because they're secluded and have king-size bed, and as well they're a partial view to the lake as well. And it's very, very nicely decorated with very authentic Guatemalan textiles. Then for families, we have the Lakeview Suites, which are perfect for families wanting to have a very exclusive lakefront view, and as well with much more bigger space for them to share with the kids.
Yeah, the views from those Lakeview Suites are extraordinary. Really large decks, a great place for morning coffee,
Right.
or evening cocktails. 10 rooms or 10 dwellings. Typically, you would have just one restaurant, and actually, most of the hotels throughout the Guatemala district or Guatemala country only have one restaurant. But ours, we have 3 dining options for only 10 guest accommodations. So, tell me a little bit about how authentic and local the cuisine is at our main restaurant.
Yes, at our main restaurant, as you said, number one would be our main restaurant where we serve our authentic meals, starting off with our pescado blanco, which is a white bass from the lake, which is freshly caught every day. This is a specialty which is a main focus for the Cupola resorts to have authenticity on meals. As well, we have a second option, which would be having a lake lunchside at our al fresco bar, where we also serve prepared meals just on a grill near the lake. So once you're by the lake enjoying a swim or canoeing, why go up at the main restaurant for lunch? You may just stay and have lunch at the lakeside restaurant.
And then the Mirador, right, is the newest addition.
Yeah, the Mirador is the newest addition, where it's a more secluded, romantic, I would say, because at nighttime we would do ticket torches and candles, and this is just a private service for those that would really request it.
So you've done it for couples, for families,
yeah, couples,
whoever
families,
wants that spot.
whoever wants the spot for us, special, secluded, and special service at the Mirador.
So it seems like you'd want to be here at least a few nights to be able to have all those experiences on your stay. So time on the lake, time going off on some adventures, being able to have all 3 of the dining experiences, and having plenty of time to sip wine no matter the location that you pick.
Right.
I also want to point out, we're here in the daytime sitting on the dock here on the Petanitza Lake, but not to be missed also is sunset here. I've seen amazing bird formations flying out over the lake at sunset, but your blood pressure drops when you're sitting here sipping some wine looking at the sunset, right?
Definitely. This is a perfect spot for a sunset as well.
Well, cheers. Thank you for hosting me here at La Lancha.
And welcome. Hola, chef, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien, gracias, bienvenido.
Gracias. ¿Qué platillo vamos a ver hoy que vas a preparar para nosotros?
Hoy voy a preparar un platillo típico, auténtico guatemalteco que se llama chilaquilas.
Qué bien.
Para el cual voy a necesitar los ingredientes: tortilla de maíz, carne molida mixta de cerdo y res y queso fresco rellenado adentro.
Amazing. Chilaquiles. So what we use for chilaquiles would be the homemade fresh corn tortillas, combination of ground pork and beef meat, fresh cheese, and dry local cheese, and both green and red sauces.
Sí, vamos a empezar con el relleno de las tortillas, tortillas frescas. Cortamos el queso fresco local.
Dry local cheese.
¿Sí? La rellenamos con
filled with pork and beef meat.
Así es. Y luego la llevaremos a rebozar en huevo, de cual ya la mezclé acá.
Then you fold the tortillas and dip it in the egg batter, which will be ready to be deep fried in olive oil.
Sí, ya está listo. Vamos a rebozarlo. Normalmente para una porción son 2 tortillas.
2 tortillas.
2 tortillas.
Okay, muy bien.
Las presionamos bien para que no se vayan.
So we might want to fold and hold tight and with the egg batter so it keeps still.
Ahora lo rebozamos en huevo y lo freímos.
It's deep fried after you dipped it in the egg batter. Okay, so while our chef finished preparing frying the chilaquiles, we're gonna serve us a glass of our Diamond Series Coppola Claret, so we can start getting ready to taste this amazing typical dish. Chef.
Thank you. Las chilaquilas ya están listas.
So chilaquiles are almost ready to be served on the plate.
Les quitamos el exceso de grasa. Montamos las chilaquilas.
Okay, so we place the chilaquiles in a very presentable way topped off with the, as I mentioned, with the dry local cheese, and we will add.
Tenemos salsa roja. Esta la preparo con tomate de cocina, cebolla, chile dulce.
Red sauce prepared with tomato, bell peppers, onions, and then here comes the green sauce, which is prepared with.
Esta está preparada con
Chef,
mil
what is it prepared?
tomate,
Okay,
ajo, perejil y cilantro.
it's green tomatoes, garlic, and cilantro. So that's why it takes the green color.
Ya luego solo lo decoramos con queso seco.
So decor or topped off with dry local cheese and
Tenemos perejil.
a few chopped leaves of parsley.
Un poco nomás, solo para darle un toque de sabor diferente.
And finally, after the red and green sauce are applied, we do topped off with dry local cheese, onion, and parsley. So it seems ready. And can I go ahead and try it?
Yes.
Okay. Wow, very
Salud.
tasty. Chef, salud,
Salud.
muy bueno.
Thank you.
Well, when we first acquired this property, it was very handsomely appointed, I thought, in a very interesting rustic way. But it didn't have much in the way of decor, graphic decor. And we did, of course, well, there were a few masks here and things, but I saw these white walls that I thought I'd like to see textiles on. So it was a great opportunity for me to have another reason to continue shopping in Guatemala. I'm not so interested in the technicalities of whether or not it was made with a backstrap loom or made with carding or, these different techniques. I'm totally drawn to the graphics, to the beauty of the design and the coloration and the textures of these different types of weaving really produce these very unusual, sometimes even almost three-dimensional qualities in their technique. So that's my focus, is on the beauty of the graphic qualities and the conditions of the pieces and so forth. When I was a little kid, my favorite thing was to go to, we had a sort of five and dime store in the next town that in the back of it, it had rows of bolts of cotton fabrics, polka dots and stripes and little prints. And I was just enthralled. I mean, that's what I remember about one of my first strongest memories is just the thrill of those prints and the colors. And my mother would let me buy some if I would make it into something. So I made sons' dresses and shorts and sewed as a child. So, and textiles have always, I've been attracted to them. I wonder if in a former lifetime I was a weaver. I don't know what it is that draws me to textiles. It's just innate. So although I never took a specific tour or really got out into the villages so very much, we met many times on buying trips to Guatemala City, to Antigua, to Panajachel, and Lake Atitlan, those areas. In the course of that, in those markets, you just see the most extraordinary textiles. I really got very interested in just the difference. Each village has their own weaving style. And in fact, the government has encouraged that because it allows the government to know where these people are from and how they're moving around and keep tabs on them. So they support the natural, indigenous, cultural weaving and so forth. But of course, as polyester and t-shirts came to the culture, a lot of people dropped the traditional weaving. Although it's very interesting that even to this day, there's a very strong weaving community throughout Guatemala. Usually start at 6 or 7 or 8 and very at the beginning, but that's true in India and other countries too, where weaving is a strong culture, or embroidery or whatever. It starts really with teaching the young kids, and so we know as time goes on that the older kids are going to want to leave and not become weavers. So we're savoring this kind of, in a way, end of an era and supporting these women who, this is one of their only means of getting money for themselves. So I think most of the pieces that we've showcased here are huipiles, which are a kind of a poncho that is worn by the women. It's their blouse. And interestingly enough, they're very elaborately patterned and ornate. But the bottoms of them are all just ignored because they're tucked into their skirts. And so even though we have them hanging on the walls, the bottom of the blouse is oftentimes just ragged and uneven and completely ignored because it's not what matters to them in their culture. And I like that too, that it isn't just a perfect piece woven for a tourist to buy. It's actually what they wear in their culture, and I'm so glad that we can still find these. Well, I hope that a guest who hasn't had the pleasure of traveling in Guatemala will be introduced to the arts of Guatemala and be sensitive to their beauty and be drawn, perhaps take a piece or two back. There are many runners that they make that look beautiful on wooden furniture and things at home that just really bring to life a memory and a beauty that is so unique, because you realize that it's not made on a machine, it's not printed, it's not something that you're ever going to see in ordinary circumstances at home. So you can have unique pieces at rather modest prices and bring them back into your Western lifestyle, I think, pretty easily. They're very outstanding pieces. So.
Hi, Noe.
Hi, Ms. Christine. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Well, good to have you here at the Lancha.
Let's
Salud.
Let's salute. Let's share one of the newest wines. This is actually, neither of us have had a taste of this yet.
I guess not.
This is from the Diamond Collection. This is the new Paso Robles, which is a Cabernet Sauvignon. Although my understanding is there's a little Petit Verdot and Petit Syrah in here. What do you think?
It is. It is. It's a very nice wine. Great to accompany with one of our favorite beef tenderloin, the parrillada. So
that's one of the dishes we have on the menu here. Yeah.
It is. It is one of the best dishes we have on the menu, which we do on our grill.
I love it. We're lucky
It is.
to work for a winemaker, filmmaker, and a hotelier, aren't we? Well, we're sitting here having our fireside chat at one of the many cozy spots we have around La Lancha here in Guatemala. Let's talk a little bit about our guests and what they love to do when they come here, because obviously Guatemala, just like our properties in Belize, it's a very active destination with adventures that guests can go on. Tell me what the #1 favorite thing people do when they stay with you here.
Well, besides enjoying this peaceful paradise out here, people would normally, the #1 attraction would be the Tikal Archaeological Site, which was declared UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1979. And most people usually enjoy being there for normal day tours. But as well, there are also people who combine either a very morning sunrise tour or an evening sunset tour. So we can have the options for visiting Tikal. As well, for Tikal, we have this our #1 guide, who is Jesus Antonio. He's he's an open encyclopedia, so he knows so much about ecology, flora, fauna, and he's there for families, kids, couples, and he's just willing to share all his knowledge with everyone.
Yeah, we're lucky to have Jesus Antonio. I think that's, there are a lot of amazing UNESCO sites to see throughout the world, but it's all about the guide that takes you there. And Tikal, having been to a few mine ruins, I think is the most impressive I've ever seen. I know it's on a lot of people's bucket list, and we're only 40 minutes away, so we're the place to stay if you want to go see Tikal.
It is. It is just nearby, so why miss it when you're at the Lancha?
And then you've added, just a couple of years ago, a new experience here right on property. You don't even have to leave to have another traditional Mayan experience beyond a Mayan ruin. And what is that?
Well, this is, normally we have the name for Temazcal, which is a Mayan Aztec word, which means house of heat. So Temazcal, it's a nice experience where guests can get into this little heated oven looking like house where we add in incense, copal, and some burning allspice leaves, which gives off this soothing scent, which helps you detox your body. It relieves your takes your stress away, and it once you're in this Maya house, you just stay there for 10 minutes, go down to the lake or the pool, take a 5-minute swim, come back up to the Temazcal, and just it's an
Rinse and
experience.
repeat.
Yeah, you just detox your body, and so it's a nice experience where guests can just enjoy after a big day at Tikal. So.
Yep. Yeah, Tikal, you can be very active. Your legs can be a little tired. And I've yet to try the Temazcal, but I'm going to do it on this trip for certain and take a dip in that pool.
Yes, you should. I guess it's ready now. We have another couple doing the Temazcal right now, so you should try it. It's ready.
Okay, I'll fit it in for sure. And I'm going to talk about a couple of other favorite activities. I don't ride horses, but a lot of our guests love to do so. We have horse stables, of course, at Blanquenot Lodge, but horseback riding is popular here and something we can set up. And then something, again, very traditional, local Guatemalan authentic experience, tortilla making. We do that right here on property, right?
That's right. Just right at our fire grill out here. We do that. Our lady dressed in the Maya costume. It's a typical costume. She comes in every evening and does her tortillas, and as well invites our children, those interested in doing the tortillas. So they do their own tortillas for dinner sometimes. So it's a great experience, a cultural experience as well.
It's great cuisine throughout the property, but watching the love that goes into every handmade little tortilla is something joyous to watch.
It's magical, yes.
Well, lovely to be here by the fireside. I'll see you somewhere else on the property, I'm sure, shortly.
So thanks for sharing this new wine with us.
My pleasure. Salud.